Welcome everybody to the DC New 52 review. I want to thank you for tuning into this episode. I am your host, Pauly DC, and let's get into another one of these things. Today I will discuss Aquaman Vol.2. It was titled The Others, and it was written by Geoff with art by Ivan Reis and Joe Prado, with issues 7 to 13 being released between May and December of 2012. If there was one thing clear about the New 52, it's that DC really wanted to make Aquaman Arthur Curry a force to be reckoned with, which got put front and center in Volume 1 as our titular hero took on an entire race of underwater creatures called the Trench. And with his partner Mera still by his side, a brand new part of the Ruler to Atlantis is revealed thanks to having a secret team from his past. Issue number 7 begins with a veiled woman called Kahina the Seer running through the jungle, and because of clairvoyant powers, she avoids an oncoming harpoon due to being hunted by someone. However, the projectile then explodes, leaving Kahina at the mercy of arguably Aquaman's greatest foe, Black Manta, created in Aquaman number 35, September 1967 by Bob Haney and Nick Cardy. Kahina tries her best to fight Manta with her blades, but after taking a signature laser eye blast from BM's helmet, she's nearly killed, resulting in her full face being revealed in order to be looked at eye to eye while Manta savagely finishes the job. Wow. Also, because Kahina held an Atlantean relic called the Golden Seal, granting her the future visions, he takes it and sees a vision of him killing Aquaman. Speaking of him, he's in the Atlantic Ocean with Mera, saving ships from a vicious storm, and when finished, they discuss the Atlantean glyph that Arthur was asked to look at in issue number 5. So the duo head back to Dr. Stephen Shin, an original character introduced early in Volume 1. Once at his house, Arthur shows Mr. Shin the artifact, to which he starts talking all about the possible history to Atlantis. Also mentioning that the Trench surely have more involvement with all of this after Aquaman tells him what he had to do to them. As this chat goes on, a teleport hole suddenly opens up in Shin's kitchen with jungle warrioress Yawara coming through the portal, and she's Brazilian with her name meaning beast or jaguar in the Tupi Guarani languages. Anyhow, she immediately gets into a fight with Mera, also showing that she can control big cats, trying to sick a jaguar on Steven until Aquaman breaks everything up. Yawara then informs Arthur of Kahina's death, with the ending reveal being that our hero once led his own team before joining the Justice League, which even Mera did not know about. Issue number 8 starts 6 years ago on the day of Arthur's father's funeral due to Tom Curry being killed apparently, and there's reporters all around Arthur's house due to his secrets being revealed to the public, which sends him angrily into the water. You may also notice that Stephen Shin has a freshly bandaged neck wound here, which by now is scarred and could be seen in previous issues. It's also pretty clear here that Shin exposed Arthur as he waited in sorrow for him to return, which took over a year to happen, as he returns with his special trident and questionable necklace. Back to current time, Mera is being told that Aquaman's first team was called The Others, while Yawara makes her jealous due to having connection with her leader, with him saying it wasn't physical. Sure it wasn't, yeah, okay. Steven then says the team had to come together in order to collect the 6 relics of Atlantis, but Yawara is convinced that he's involved in helping Black Manta now, so Aquaman decides to go with her, teleporting out of there and leaving Mera behind with Shin, who is demanded to tell her everything. Jumping back 6 years ago to Siberia, the entire team of the others are tracking Manta. However, a nearby avalanche deters the search, much to Aquaman's chagrin due to choosing to save a bunch of random people, thus losing his enemy's trail. But I mean, damn, aren't any of you people cold? Only one person has armor on, while everyone else has light clothing or practically nothing on at all. Moving along, Aquaman and Yawara have found Kahina's body, but can't stick around long because of rebels shooting up the area. Meanwhile, on the last page, Black Manta is in Germany saying he's found his next target. Issue number 9 kicks off with Black Manta using the Golden Seal to sneak up on one Dominic Torres, more commonly known as Prisoner of War, except he's never technically alone due to having one of the cooler powers, which is summoning ghosts of other soldiers through special dog tags. And he also possesses the Atlantean relic called the Manacles of Force, so with these, plus his skill, Manta is fought off, allowing POW a chance to escape. Over to the rainforest, Aquaman and Yawara are fighting rebels, with it being shown that she's a pretty vicious killer, also reminding Arthur of their time together, which he brushes off, since Mera is his gal now, making Yawara quite envious. But there's business to attend to currently, with them needing to find other member Vostok X. The last segment here features Mera still with Steven Shin, forcing him to tell her everything she doesn't know. So he starts with saying Tom Curry brought his son Arthur to him due to being old friends and his son suddenly developing aquatic powers. However, Shin wanted to make him public to increase his reputation, which of course got denied, but he exposed young Arthur anyway. Now, the second bit of info Steven gets into here explains Black Manta's connection. Shin went to him due to his nefarious background and asked for a sample of Arthur's DNA to be retrieved, except when that was attempted, Tom tried to protect his son, suffering a heart attack and dying 3 days later. So, Arthur took revenge by killing Manta's father. Also, while this story is being told, POW is still on the run until Aquaman teleports into the area. Issue number 10 gives us the first look at other member the Operative, a highly skilled super spy type who is currently breaking into one of Black Manta's compounds in order to ransack his files, and after using his Atlantean relic, a golden skeleton key, he also steals documents right before being ambushed by some of Manta's flunkies, so he promptly deals with them, only suffering a minor wound as he escapes to his flying headquarters called the Living Room, which is basically an estate inside of a huge aircraft. But even more interesting is the Operative looks to be a 70-plus-year-old man whose special suit keeps him in action, and he works with his grandson, Aaron, who would fit right in with the Outsiders. As for Mera, she does not believe Steven's stories about Arthur, but he's not lying. Her lover did indeed kill Manta's dad, however, it was meant to be him instead, and if you ask me, BM did kill Tom Curry, causing the guy to have a heart attack due to defensive adrenaline over protecting his son because he was about to be killed. Yeah. The writers thinking that exonerated him surely garners a I don't know and I don't care. Moving on, Aquaman and Black Manta are currently locked in combat, smashing across a street. gorgeous double-page spread here too. And while their fight heads underwater, Yawara and POW reconnect and get ready to help. Aquaman seems to need it too, because he is blasted out of the water right to the duo's sides, but none of them can prevent Manta from stealing Yawara's teleporting Atlantean relic, the Golden Globe, while we see that Arthur gave him his New 52 facial scar during their very first battle. Where does BM end up now though? Directly inside Mr. Shin's home. Oh shit. Issue number 11 takes things back 6 years ago again, as the others have entered the tomb of the first king to Atlantis, commonly known as the Dead King. Remember that name for later, and the team is here now to gather his 6 Atlantean relics. We also see Vostok X speak with Aquaman, telling him a rather grim story of Atlantis' one-time ruler, leading into harsh words about these items. These are definitely not meaningless, Arthur. Aside from being your, I don't know, friggin' birthright, they could also have a nasty curse attached to them, or possess magic you shouldn't play with, or a lot more bad shit. Anyhow, the operative shows up just after Black Manta teleported away, saying he knows where to go, which is Shin's home, as Mira takes him on, but thanks to his suit, her hydrokinesis is no good against Manta, resulting in her being injured and Steven being taken. Cutting over to the others aboard the living room now, they discuss their foe becoming interested in the Dead King's tomb. Then they officially become complete, sorta, with Vostok X returning to Earth from extended time on the moon, due to being a Russian cosmonaut who was let go when the USSR dissolved. And he gets his title from the Station East research base in Soviet Antarctica, that or the Watch Company. I will also say this as Aquaman gets ready to depart the flight: the way the others feel forgotten and misled by him after he joined the Justice League was presented extremely well here. Aquaman still won't listen to any of their reasoning though, and dives into the water, heading straight for the Dead King's tomb where Manta is currently. Down below, he's there with a group of his goons and Steven, because there's rumors of a 7th Atlantean relic hidden even deeper, and that is confirmed while Aquaman watches everything, because in a lower chamber, the Scepter of Atlantis is discovered. Issue number 12 opens on Mira still at Stevens and is successfully contacted by the operative asking if she can meet the others, so she jets over to them on the water, and when aboard the living room, everyone questions why Mira wasn't told about them by Arthur. Obviously, so each of them could have their own big secrets, duh. Now, over to the Dead King's tomb, Aquaman remembers how Shin did really help him develop his abilities as a kid, so he repays the favor by casually murdering a guy after Manta ordered him to be killed. Okay then. BM immediately goes berserk with this powerful scepter now in hand, destroying the tomb, and because Aquaman has to save Shin, he's about to be taken out while defenseless until Mira and the others show up in a fantastic double-page spread. I mean, just look at that. Aquaman is rather pissed about them all arriving now, even beginning to argue with Mira, while Yawara gets her jaguars ready to eat Steven, but Vostok stops the attack. However, she is sure he's guilty even against Arthur's word. Really bad timing for all this, because the brief distraction does enable Manta to take a lethal swing at Aquaman, to which Vostok intentionally blocks it, and even with the Atlantean helmet he wears, the hit proves fatal. The others then surround their fallen comrade, shedding tears, and Arthur decreeing that Black Manta will die. Issue number 13 concludes this story first with a 6-year throwback featuring the pleasantly sad moment of Arthur and Vostok speaking of heroic nature. However, right now our hero is only ready for revenge, and with the entire tomb caving in, it is demanded that Mira and the others leave while he tries to finish Black Manta, but his arch-nemesis teleports out of there pretty fast. Did you really think he was just gonna stick around? Moving along, thanks to the operative, there's an inkling on where Manta might be heading, and because there's conveniently a fresh Aquaman suit in the living room, Mira helps keep her man's chin held high and reminds him to stay true to who he is now and not the person from the past. Black Manta's dad was apparently a scumbag anyway, not to mention you killed a guy like 5 minutes ago to save Steven. Jumping to the middle of the open water, Black Manta was in fact not working with Dr. Shin, as his partners are shown to be Atlantean when a huge submersible emerges with Atlantis soldiers trading treasure for the dead king's scepter. All of what's recently transpired over some common thievery? Really? Tisk tisk tisk. Aquaman is quick to join in on the party, viciously attacking Manta, and after seeing the Atlantean craft, he starts to believe his half-brother Orm is behind things, but he cannot stop the scepter from being taken away. So, the focus is back to Black Manta, who's now on the verge of killing Prisoner of War, only to be stopped by Aquaman nearly taking his head off with a trident strike, also relieving him of the Golden Globe, meaning he's rather defenseless and actually demands to be killed in some type of ultimate messed up warrior fashion, because only one of them must go on and can survive. Well, too bad for you, Aquaman has matured into the no murdering type in the past 20 minutes, meaning we'll be seeing Manta again. To wrap things up, Yawara and the operative discuss how they'll be keeping most of the Atlantean relics, while Aquaman gives POW some respectful advice, and then he gets an excellent moment in with Mira as she reminds Arthur their love will be forever. Let's hope so, because the two are currently being watched by their next foes. Alright. The plot for this one was pretty similar to Volume 1, all the issues pertain to a single thing, and it was building to a bigger story altogether. Now, let me say this, the Others were one of the best teams in the New 52. Interesting and eclectic backgrounds to build on, while Black Manta was set up amazing for the second big foe behind the trench. Mira, on the other hand, she is how a superpowered female partner should be presented. Supportingly authoritative, willing to help and accept certain flaws, plus just being kind to the man that she's with. The artwork is 2 words. Frickin' awesome. Name a character, they were designed great, the fight scenes were clear and fluent, such a wide array of settings. If you can find a problem with the stuff, please let me know. Finishing up with dialogue, you can't help but appreciate the cast of characters having their own flavors, but overall, everyone was quite stern and serious. Again, as I said at the beginning, this series was tripling down on giving Aquaman new life through no BS stories, and this script was right in tune with that. That will be all for today's review, and if you've watched until the end here, I want to personally thank you for that, and to please like, share, and subscribe. Please follow me on all my social media platforms, and to please join me next time for Justice League Dark Volume 2.